Hey everybody, this is Ken from I Can Do Everything. This is a 2006 Toyota Prius, which needs an inverter pump replaced. So I've already done that, so I'm going to go over some basics with you so you can understand exactly what you're going to be looking at and how to get it done. All right, let's go over here. Okay, so this is your inverter pump. So this inverter pump is to the right side of your engine. So you can see your engine space here, and to the right, the inverter pump, you'll see the new one is right here. You can see the new bolts and the new bracket. So it's very easy to get to. And I'm gonna give some explanation on what you need to do. But first, let me show you the pieces that you'll need. So you're gonna need a 10mm socket, a 12mm socket. I used the 10mm open-end wrench because I had difficulty getting to one of the bolts and I had to get in from the left side. Then I have a couple extensions and your ratchet. You're gonna need a pair of pliers to use for the hose brackets, or hose clamps, I'm sorry. And then you're gonna need 2 wrenches that can pinch off your coolant hoses. So I'll just point those out to you. So you have one that's right here on the top, and then you can see the next one is down here just below. Those are both held in by little plastic clips. Here's a plastic clip right here. It's very simple. You can just reach in and just pop these right out of that plastic clip. It's like a C. That's what holds it on. So let's get started with the process on how to get this out of here. So you're going to remove 2 bolts. One bolt is right here, which I broke off, so I'm going to fix that because it was rusted. And the second bolt is right here. You undo these 2 bolts and then lift up and put a stud or a piece of wood or something underneath. It just gives you a little more clearance to be able to work in here to get the pump out once you get it released. So now on the old pump, you have to undo 3 screws to get the old pump out, which is really kind of a pain in the butt. One of the screws, the way this is sitting in there, it sits in there kind of like this. This screw that was in the front was the most difficult one to get to because you have to get down in between all of this. You can see that screw or bolt, sorry, I keep calling it screw. You can see that bolt down there right behind the headlight. And that's the one that's tough to get to. So I used a socket, an extension, and the extension has a wobble head on it that allows the head to move back and forth. I was able to get it loosened, but I could not get it out. So I had to go in from this angle, from this side down in here to get to it with the open end wrench. So back to the beginning. You're going to remove your plastic shroud. That just has a couple of little push-in plastic screws. You take about 5 or 6 of them out from here. The plastic shroud just lifts out. And then you save those little plastic screws that look like this so you can push them back in and secure that plastic shroud for later. Then you're going to undo these 2 bolts. Remove those bolts, secure them so they don't get lost. Prop up this unit with a piece of wood. And then you can get down in here to remove the 3 bolts from the original unit, 1, 2, 3, and that loosens this down there in that position. Now the next thing is, once you get this loosened, then you're going to remove the 2 hoses from their C-clamps, those little plastic clips, one here and one down there. After you do that, then that gives you the flexibility to pull this whole unit up to the top where you can take off the first hose clamp. The hose clamps look like this. Let's see if I can get in there and zoom in for you. There we go. So you can see the teeth of the hose clamp right here where my finger is. So the teeth of the hose clamp, they just need to be squished together like this, and then you can wiggle that backwards and get that clamp off. And then you can pull the hose off of the top, and then the second one is off on the left side here. So you're just going to remove those 2 hose clamps. Once you move them back, then it makes it real easy to slip the hose off. But once you do slip that hose off, then you're going to start to see some fluid come out because the coolant is going to want to run out of those hoses. So that's where you use the hose clamp and squeeze it tight just to pinch it off just in the time period while you're just doing the replacement so you don't lose any more fluid. All right, so it's pretty simple. The new pump comes with a new bracket. You can see that bracket down there. That screw that you can see right there sticks up from another mount. So that slips over the top, and then you only have one bolt in the back to put in. That's it. And I got that off of Amazon for, I think it was around 30 bucks. I'll include a link in my video so that you can purchase the same one that I got, so you have similar brackets and everything. But ultimately this device here sends coolant through your hybrid battery to keep it cooled off. And if the hybrid battery starts to overheat, then it will go into the limp mode or a weak mode. And the weak mode means that the car basically shuts down from doing regular speed, and it only allows you to go about 15, 20 miles an hour. And that's what was happening to my daughter's car. So hopefully this will fix it. That's it. Wood, pull off the clamps. Sorry. 2 bolts. Wood. Undo 3 bolts to the pump. After you get the 3 bolts undone, remove the hose clamps from the 2 hoses, and then remove the pump. I pulled mine up out of here, and then I had to lift this. This is flexible, and that helps you get that pump out of there. All right? Hopefully that helps you gain a little bit of knowledge on how to get that inverter pump out. You can save yourself a lot of money if you can do a small task like this. All right? Altogether, from start to finish, it took me about 45 minutes. Peace.